Good afternoon, Gautam. First of all, congratulations for your All India rank 25 in the Clat examination conducted in 2021.
Thank you.
How are you? How do you
I'm
feel
fine.
about it?
It's kind of overwhelming because it's just a dream come true.
For how long have you been studying for the exam? Was it like
I
1 year of preparation or more?
No, it was less actually. I started preparing around February and gained traction around March, April. And I'm a basic idea was that I was the objective of giving Clat came to me in February only.
Okay, amazing. Okay, my first direct question for this session is why law? Like, why would you choose law? Everybody wants to know this question and the answer to this question. Because
Yeah.
every law aspirant has had this question at one
Yeah.
point in their life that why should I do this? I am asking you the same question. Why should you advise people to take law and why you chose law?
So basically, I didn't have an idea about this career in 10th, 11th, but at the starting of 12th, we had a seminar conducted by, there was this girl who was a pass out from our school, that is St. Joseph's Academy in Dehradun, Bhuvanya Vijay. So she was an ICSE topper. She got 99.9% or something. So she was a genius. And she also cleared for Bangalore. She was a gold medalist there. So she gave the seminar, and she, gave us a brief intro to law and how it is as a career, what are the experiences. So I got affected by that. I looked up to her, and what she said, and I thought this suits me because I took part in many debates in my school, and so I was very good at speaking and all. And I thought, yeah, this seems like a good career for me. I I thought, let's get into the preparation of this. I was already in commerce, so engineering and medicine was, as it is, not an option for me. And manage the management side, I was not really good at that. But once I started preparing for this, I got to know that, yeah, I have a knack for this, and I can do it. I have a skill in this, so basically.
That's good to hear from your side, and I hope that inspires other CLAT aspirants and the budding aspirants. Next question I have for you is what is your very general trip? Like something that you would suggest a CLAT aspirant on the first go. If I tell you I'm going to be a CLAT aspirant or I'm aspiring for 2020, 2022, like what would you suggest me?
First trick, I mean, is to get good at English, because it is an English based paper, and you have to get proficient at it. You have to expand your vocabulary, because I think when all of us start as an aspirant for Clat, our vocabulary is not that wide. Most people, they don't have a wide vocabulary, because in schools they do not work on our vocab as much as they do on grammar and other things. So we have to expand our vocab. And if you're starting early, like if you still have an year or more to give Clat, you should start reading novels. Good, you should get recommendations from Google and all about what novels. So I also read a couple of novels. I used to read a lot of novels when I was in middle school. So I was already, I had a grasp at English, and my vocabulary was, average. But when I started to prepare for Clat, I gave previous year papers of, before the pattern was changed. So there were vocab questions in that also. So I thought, yeah, I should maybe expand my vocab. And my parents and all also said, yeah, you should maintain a notebook and keep on jotting down words which you don't know. And yeah, you have to get good at English first, so you can understand, because the language that they use in all sections, they use a complicated language, even in legal, in English, in critical reasoning. So you have to if you don't understand it, then you will not be able to solve the question. So first step is to get good at English.
Okay, that's really important for anybody preparing for 2022. Next up, I will like your strategies. Like very short, I don't want you to elaborate too much on them, but I would definitely want you to elaborate on the short strategies for each section. Let's start up with your favorite section. Which is your favorite section in the CLAT exam?
My favorite section actually was legal.
Oh,
I had an interest in legal.
amazing.
And when even when I used to give mocks, I used to attempt legal first because it was my strongest. So I thought, let me attend that first, then I'll get a confidence boost for the other sections. So the strategy for
For
legal.
legal, because it's your favorite section.
Yeah, so Clat basically consortium says that you don't have to have prior knowledge or an idea of laws and all that, but that's not entirely true. You do have to have an idea about what's the law, and not an in-depth study, just an overview, like an idea about the different laws, contracts, and constitutional law. And you have to give a read into that. You have to understand the concepts. There are a few recurring concepts in Clat, like that of defamation. Every 2 3 4 years it is asked. So you have to get an idea of that. You have to give a light reading firstly to these concepts, the basic concepts of legal. And then you have to get the problem solving approach to the questions, because some people, they don't get how to attempt these questions. Some Because the principle is given, the material is given, you just have to apply it. So you don't have to use your brain or your morals in the applying part. You just have, whatever the principle is given, you have to straightforwardly apply that into the answer. So that is the approach for legal. You have to understand the passage. You have to understand the principle, the law that is given on the passage, in the passage, and you have to apply it to the questions. So that skill is required, and that comes through practice. Naturally, it comes through practice.
That is something very important for every aspirant preparing, because I myself have given clat and really seen people, all the aspirants I ever got into touch with, was one thing that I always have shared with people, and all the admins of lighting dreams have always shared, is that practice. We have always emphasized that clat is an exam which is always going to take your learning experience at the end of the day. It is not important for you to score 123 or like a 145 in a mock and then you are like back to 45. It is very important that you maintain a score, you maintain your studies, your experience. At the same time, it is very important that it is a gradual process. You cannot expect one day you are studying in legal and the other day you expect that legal will be 35 out of 35. That's not happening. You have to give it time and you have to make the process a subject matter for this exam. It is not something based on concept or something. I think the main thing about this examination is your strategy day in and day out. And this was only for the legal section. What about your other sections? Which is the one section that you hated the most for this exam?
I hated the general knowledge section, the current affairs section, because
Oh,
it was never ending. No matter how much you study, it just keeps on
this
expanding.
is the most
So,
dreaded section
yeah,
since
yeah,
90s now.
yeah. So even in the paper, the lowest I scored was in GK only. I got 15 in
And that's your
GK.
lowest.
Yeah, that's my lowest section, because it has really a vast scope, and you have to keep on chipping away. You have to read newspapers daily. You have to get updated with the events, and you just have to keep constant with GK. You can't expect to do the entire section 2 or 3 months before the exam. You have to keep constant at it. You have to keep a track, maybe make notes, like not big notes of
Yeah, exactly.
small notes,
Expensive
because
notes are not going to
yeah,
help you because at the end of the day, you're supposed to revise them.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it is just not a showpiece. Like people
yeah,
make
yeah.
a lot of notes, but you're not supposed to make a showpiece of those notes.
It's just some terms, like if there are figures and you're not able to remember those figures, then you can make a note of these figures,
Yes.
and keep on revisiting the topics that you have done earlier. Like I in the last month, all I did was revise the topics that I had already done since
Okay.
January onwards. I did a month-wise revision, so that really helped me a lot. And yeah, good sources for GK. Lightning Dreams provides very good is a very good source of GK, because they used to send editorials in the morning, and all GK material was uploaded in the drive. So all the prominent events were there in the drive, and it's just there for you to use it. You just have to use the resources available for you, and don't just restrict yourself to one source. Keep different kinds of sources, like read newspapers, look at other sources, look at telegram channels, Telegram channels, and the websites like Drishti IS. That's a really helpful site because it gives an in-depth analysis into, and in GK in the new format you need an in-depth analysis of the topic. They don't just ask superficial questions; they go deep into the topic. Related questions, parallel questions of the topic. So that's really important. And the next section which I was good at was critical reasoning. So critical reasoning also, the format was changed, and now all the questions were passage based. They were and
Be
in
another
2021.
problem because the paper seems never ending. You have to
Yeah,
read passages in English, legal,
yeah,
logic. QT also comes with passages at times, and then GK is also a passage based exam, though you can
yeah.
actually use it with your knowledge, like knowledge, or maybe I would say your GK skills that are like rattu tota, maybe the right word.
Yeah, so critical reasoning also, if you look at the 2021 paper, there were zero questions on analytical. There were no questions, only passage based.
Only
So
passage based. Last year also it was the same. So I really thought this year they would change that part, but of course they haven't. They
so
haven't
same,
put-
you have to be good at English because they give confusing language, and you have to if you're not able to understand, if you're not able to grasp it, then you can always use an elimination strategy. And elimination strategy works the best for me. In critical reasoning, English, and even legal, the best strategy was the elimination strategy. I eliminated the options which were improbable. Then maybe two options were left, and out of those two, I picked the best option. So elimination strategy is the
Okay,
best
at
strategy.
this point I would like to stop you and tell you that listen, this is like what do you call this? Intelligent guessing, and this only works with people who have practiced a lot.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah, yeah,
because if you have not practiced, intelligent guessing is not going to work for you. So
yeah,
congrats for your practice part, so that you had this intelligent guessing. I'm sure exam also you must have done this. Did you do
yeah,
intelligent guessing in the exam?
yeah, yeah. Almost. So, every
Or
question
critical
I
reasoning?
eliminated a few options, and then
Yeah,
even if I knew that this must be the answer, I did check out the other options. I did eliminate them
that is very
just to
important.
be sure.
Yes, just to be sure. Well, that is the way to get AIR 25. Next up, let's talk about QT section, like the quantitative technique section. What
So
was your strategy for preparing? Because I think
I'm
it is one of those sections dreaded again by the CLAT aspirants because
yeah.
most of them do not have a mathematics background. So,
Neither did I. Neither did I. So
what
I was not good at maths at all.
must have
You
been
know,
the
and but they ask is up till 10th, the level of maths
yeah,
is
level of
of
10.
10th. So
Yes, 9, 10 only.
mostly it was percentages and ratios. So you have to get good at mental maths. You can't waste your time calculating small figures, and you have to memorize tables of. I know it's difficult to memorize tables at this stage. You'll be like, why I already did that in second,
It
third.
is something you never did after sixth grade or seventh
Yeah, yeah,
grade.
yeah. So you have to again revise the tables. Maybe I recommend that you should memorize the tables of up to at least 25, because that will help a lot. Whenever, because QT section, you don't have to give 30 minutes or 40 minutes to QT section. You have to finish that section as quick as possible. I kept the QT section for the last, whatever time was left,
Mhm.
because
Approximately what time you had given in the exam for the QT section?
in
20
the
minutes?
exam,
10
I had
minutes?
20 minutes. I
20
had 20
minutes. You
minutes.
had 20 minutes left after all those sections of reading and reading only. And elimination.
Yeah.
Nice. Good reading. Reading practice was amazing.
Yeah, reading practice is a must. You have to get quick at reading, otherwise you won't have time for the next section. And if you're not able to attempt any question, or any paragraph seems humongous to you, you have to leave that. You can't stick at it. You have to give time for other sections and leave. And QT is a major rank decider according to me, because other people will also do, but if you want to get a better rank, you have to do well in QT also. You can't leave out QT. So yeah, percentages and ratios, you have to get very good at them. You have to get good at mental maths. You have to calculate figures. So it will be recommended that you practice from scratch. You have to practice multiplication. You know how to get quick at it, and with practice you do get quick at it, because in when I started my preparation, I used to I mostly I could attempt only one or two questions, sometimes maybe zero questions of QT. But I started practicing. I gave time to this section, and I got better at it. I started writing at least 5 questions. Then some caselets of QT were, I didn't I wasn't at hold with mensuration
Okay.
and geometry, so I used to leave that entirely. But in the last, 3 to 4 months, I thought, why leave anything, why leave anything? I'm only giving clat once, so I have to give everything. So
Yeah.
I did those concepts also of mensuration and geometry, and every possible, question I attempted. I practiced a lot of questions, so I it was not like I was surprised if anything in the mocks came out of the usual, you know
Exactly. One thing, one element of surprise always remains with the exam. So
yeah.
that is one thing you were very sure about in the QT section, especially the section you were not really accustomed to.
Yeah,
Because
so
English is again something that you must have had in your school, and you must have
yeah,
been somewhere or the other, because you're coming from a school of, like, you're coming from a Catholic school. So I
yeah,
assume that you
right,
definitely know English well enough, better than the average students, no doubt.
yeah,
But QT must have been difficult coming from commerce background without maths.
yeah.
So yeah, that
So
must have been
I
difficult.
got 10 in QT in the paper,
Yeah,
15, 10 out of 15.
yeah, amazing.
And and clat in QT, even last year, an entire, case length was
Wrong,
wrong.
exactly.
And
Last year also it was wrong. Also, I also got 10 marks from QT in
yeah,
my paper. So I am in GNLU because of those 10 marks. They are a big
yeah,
rank decider,
yeah,
because
they
if
are
you
rank
don't
decider.
really get those 10 marks, it would have been somewhere obscure in the lower rank places.
Yeah,
Amazing that you are here. Next up, I have this question about how have you managed your mock mark seesaw? Like, I am sure you must have had a time where you would have scored the highest in a mock, and there would have been a time where you have scored the lowest. So, what
yeah.
has been, how have you managed those seesaws and the accompanying sadness that it comes with?
Yeah, so the thing about mocks is that every mock is different from the previous one and from the next one. And some mocks are easy, some mocks are difficult. But one thing you don't have to get disheartened from mocks. As they say, failure is a stepping stone to success. So you don't have to take them as your failure. If you get bad, if you get a bad, स्कोर इन मॉक्स, you don't have to feel like no यार अब तो मेरे से नहीं हो पाएगा, अब तो क्लैट छोड़ देता हूँ, मैं मॉक में ही नहीं आ रहा, मेरा असली एग्जाम में क्या आएगा. You it's like it's an opportunity. If you get bad marks in mocks, you have an opportunity to actually analyze the mock, and you will learn what you did wrong. You learn what are your weak points, and then you can build upon them. And you have to keep on giving mocks. Like when I started my preparation, I used to give a mock that around that time, there was still a few months left, so I used to give a mock, in the starting. Every 2 to 3 weeks I used to give one mock. And it's better if you give them in the offline mode, if you print the mocks, because uh, according to the situation it
Like,
may be
it should
online as
depend
well.
upon the exam, the way
Yeah,
you are
it should
doing. In
depend.
my situation, it was online. So I actually was very accustomed to the offline reading, because
Yeah,
offline reading is pretty fast. You have the pen with you. You
yeah,
can
yeah,
apply a lot of techniques, Evelyn Wood methods, and so many methods you have. But when it finally the exam happened online, so it was actually bad for me. But I am sure you had an offline exam. You must have practiced reading a lot of novels and exams and mocks. So you have given offline mocks,
I
even in the
I, I
pandemic.
gave I gave online mocks. I gave around
Okay,
20 to 25 online mocks.
okay.
And a total of, I gave about 60 mocks, I think, in
Okay,
the
that's
past six
amazing. That's
months.
a good number. That's a very good
Yeah,
number.
that's a good number.
Congrats for that.
And
Good
around
attempt.
25 to 30 of those were online. The
Hmm.
rest were, I in the starting, because the COVID situation was better then, I used to give offline mocks only. Then the lockdown couldn't get the mocks printed. Then it was back to online. I gave online mocks in about 3 to 4 months. I gave online mocks only. And then in the last month, I they said that the paper will be offline. So I thought, I said no, online देके फायदा नहीं, क्योंकि the offline paper will be entirely different. The experience of giving the paper in pen and paper mode will be entirely different. So I got a printer actually from my mosi. So my mom borrowed it from her, we brought it to our house, and I used to print the mocks and give them in the last month. I used to print the mocks and give them. And mocks, I used to, the most important thing, analyzing the mocks is more important than giving the mock. If you give the mock and you don't analyze it, then you don't get anything from the mock. The mock is useless if you don't analyze it. And you have to do if you give a mock in 2 hours, the analysis should be at least of 3 to 4 hours. You have to individually analyze each section and see where you went wrong. Even the questions that went right, you have to see what went right for you. Some questions, you might have had a doubt, like
No,
ye mark
for
karo
a
ya nahi.
time you just flew.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Intelligent guessing, के लिए you need to learn all these things.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is
you have
one
to.
thing. Yeah, correct.
Sometimes you might have guessed tukka mara hoga. And then you have to look at that question. If it went right for you, you have to look kaise, matlab, what was my mindset at that time that this
Yeah.
went right. Even the right questions you have to analyze, and the wrong questions too. And the passages that they give in legal, you have to read those passages, and that can come useful for your GK preparation too. Because the Maharashtra, for example, there was this Maharashtra reservation passage in legal. So
Okay.
when I was analyzing the mock which had that passage, I jot down all the points that were given in that passage in the legal section. And
Yeah.
the next mock itself, in the GK section, the Maharashtra reservation issue was asked, and the reservation, and I got that from the legal section of the previous mock.
Yeah.
So all
It
sections
can
are
be
integrated.
useful for other things as well
Yeah,
if you pay attention. Analysis is this is why analysis is important. You can
yeah, this is why
also,
it's important.
it is not only the questions you get, it is also the passage that comes with it. So like the passage at least has three pointers that you can use for your GK part.
Yeah,
Very good.
and
Amazing.
in the GK section, when I used to analyze the mocks, a topic is, for example, the Israel-Palestine issue is given, and
Yeah.
there are five questions asked from it. So those 5 questions, I will get the answers, as it
Hmm.
is. But the passage, I will do more research on that. I will not just restrict myself to the 5 questions that were asked in the mock. If there is a
Exactly.
new passage, I will do research on that. Like, what is this? What's the issue? And I'll look at the answer key of the mock. I'll get the answers for the 5 questions, the ones that I did wrong, as well as what went correct. And then other questions, other points that can be derived from that passage, I'll try to research from Drishti IS and other sources.
Hmm.
And that helps a lot. And in critical reasoning and English as well, I used to look at what went wrong. Where I mean, sometimes you don't read the passage correct. Sometimes you don't read the question correct. Like, question, if it is asked in the question that what is mentioned in the passage, sometimes it's asked what is not mentioned in the passage. So that used to happen a lot with me, because I used to, I was in a rush while giving walks. So, the question, I used to miss the word not entirely, and I used to answer according to what was
That's
given
like
in the question.
fast reading,
Yeah.
problems
So,
of fast
so
reading.
you have to give, attention to the question. And if even if you're not, understanding the passage while you're reading it, you have to go look at the questions, and you have to see whether there is at least one question you can answer. And it's not necessary that you have to, if there are 30 questions in English, you have to attempt all 30 of them. You have to choose which questions to attempt, which questions you will get a good accuracy from. So that's all about analysis. It's really important. It's the most important part of your preparation.
Okay, next up, my question would be: what is your learning experience from the CLAT preparation time? Whatever small amount of time you have given, which according to you is small. Okay, I'm literally telling you there are people who actually think that they can crack this exam in 1 month or something, which is actually absurd, very absurd. So, whatever short time according to you think you have devoted to this exam, after all these 6, 7, 8 months, what's your learning experience out of this examination?
Yeah, so aside from cracking the exam itself, it was a great learning experience. All the research, I was clueless in 2000, 20 and 19. I was clueless to what was happening in the world, what was happening in India. But when I started my preparation, I was up to date with everything. It's really, it molds you as a person, the preparation itself. You get in touch with everything. Even, in our school, they don't really teach us all this. They don't really, GKs, I think in our school it was dropped in class 8th. It was not there from ninth onwards. So you really, detach yourself from the world. And it is important to know what's happening.
You start feeling intelligent in your own self.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
have something to talk to
When,
people. You
when,
feel like I'm talking something intellectual. Amazing.
when I used to converse with my friends, they had no idea what was going on. I mean, they knew that something was going on, but like I had an in-depth,
Yeah, exactly. Because of course we are live in a world of social media.
yeah,
You know what is happening. If
yeah,
there is something happening very important, there will be a meme on it. People do know about
yeah,
it. But of course, because you were preparing for an exam, you had this whole knowledge of the in-depth analysis, like what is the real reason behind Israel and Palestine and other things.
yeah,
That
yeah.
must have been encouraging to know and really must have been making you proud about yourself and your knowledge.
And it helps you to sensitize about these issues also. You like if there is some injustice going on, you feel for it. You form an opinion. It's important to form an opinion as a lawyer.
It is kind of an adulting process. You
Yeah,
realize
yeah,
that you can have a political opinion. You
yeah,
realize you have a stand and you have a say now.
yeah, yeah. you
And
it's
since
it
now
is
you're going
important.
to a college, not even like a college, it's going to be in NLSIU Bangalore. So, of course, that opinion is going to be part of your character, your personality.
Yeah.
Congratulations for that. And this is going to be my last question. I don't want to bother you with any more questions, but this last one. What's up next? What are you planning to do after this?
Up next, I mean, the only thing I'm planning to do now is to relax, to chill, to go out with friends, because I didn't go out for the past 2 to 3 months. I
Do
didn't
you really
leave
think
my house.
lockdown is going to permit you to go out?
I mean, when the lockdown was lifted, I didn't even go to family,
Functions, okay,
get-togethers.
yeah, that
Yeah,
must have been really stressing out. You should go out now then.
and my best friend's birthdays, didn't go to that. They actually used to come to my house. They were like, यार तू कैसे पिंजरे में बंद है यार, बाहर आ जा यार. अरे नहीं यार, मैं क्लैट के बाद ही आऊंगा.
Very good, very good.
So I'll chill now, I'll relax, and then when Bangalore comes, I'll start studying because law school is tough. Law school.
Bangalore with its system of studying, I think you have trimester. I don't know if it is dropped now or not. You have trimester, so you will have like frequent exams. So that is one thing
Uh,
coming up. So if you study, you have the habit of studying. So
yeah,
good
I
luck with
plan
that.
to do a lot of internships and maybe guide a few other students who are going to give the exam in 2022.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
should. You should. That would be a great initiative.
yeah, so that's it.
Thank you so much for your precious time. And anything you want to talk about lighting dreams, as in the association we have with our friends and our admins who have constantly been there to help you people and definitely must have helped you in some way or the other. Any short thing you would like to add about?
Yeah. So there is no dearth of coachings in India. There are a lot of coachings, and there is no dearth of the amount that they charge also. That's like they really charge exorbitant amounts. Most people can't afford it, so that's unfair for them. If someone has the caliber but he can't afford the coaching, then it's unfair for him. So this initiative is, really it's God's work. You're giving education. You're guiding students who don't have the resources. Even those who have the resources, you're guiding them, without you giving your precious time. So lighting dreams is a really big incentive. It helped me a lot personally. It has a really personal touch to it because whenever I had doubts, I would either message it on the group, or I would directly message Kanish bhaiya, or anyone else, the admins, and they would reply to me. They would clear my doubts, and the sessions had a personal touch to them. Every topic was covered in depth. Even some topics which I didn't know, I got to know from this group. I joined this group around, I think, May. I got to know about this from YouTube. It was in my recommended. So I searched for the group invite link. It was in the description section or the comment section. So I got into the group. I really liked the way things were being done. I checked out all the materials in the drive, and in the last month also, whenever I had a doubt about something, some figures were not matching in the while I was preparing for GK. Some site was mentioning a different figure, other was mentioning a different figure. So I used to check the drive because almost all the topics were covered there. Topics were covered in the sessions. I attended legal sessions because NLU students are the admin, so they have an you know
Then edge over GK and
yeah,
legal, I understand.
legal,
At
yeah.
the same
So
time, it was your favorite section, so you must have felt
yeah,
inclined towards it.
Yeah, so some some concepts really got strengthened in these sessions, and the strategy sessions which were in the last month or so, about how to say positive and all, and how to manage time. So that was really helpful, and it had really a personal touch to it. I used to these were people who had actually done it,
Yeah.
who had done it. So that was, there were mentors, and the guidance there was this was, I think, in the last 3 to 4 months, this was the only source of guidance I had, actually, because no other, I
That
didn't know
is
any
very
other
nice for
senior.
us to hear. I think all the admins who are hearing this, and me myself feeling very proud about this situation, because if you say that we were the ones who were the only
Yeah,
guiding source for you for any amount of time, you just say one day, we would be very proud of it, because all this initiative here was to like make a difference for at least one
yeah,
student. If one of the students we guide and they go to one place, they are happy, and at the end, this is something you're going to carry with yourself for the rest of your life now. You will always be like AIR 25 of the Clat exam 2021. So this
yeah,
is something you will always carry. And for that, we will always be very proud of ourselves, and at the same time, very happy that we have made a difference in your life.
yeah.
We are actually very thankful for giving us an opportunity to make a change in your life. At the same time, I hope you really take this opportunity in your hand and go and do well in your law career ahead. I don't know what are your plans after law, but I am sure these 5 years you are definitely going to be one of the best lawyers in making. Good luck for that.
Thank you so much. I think everyone in the group, Lightning Dreams group, appreciates the effort, and it's not easy to devote time
Once you
like
are in a
this.
law school, you are going to be in one very soon. You
Yeah,
are already almost there. So once you are like really in the college, we have not come to our college. Like we have not gone to our college as of yet. We are only doing it online. So still, it is very hectic for us. I don't really know when we are actually not at home and in the campus, we will be able to do it or not. We will try to definitely because we want to, but it will be difficult back there because right now it is still thoda sa easy because of the online things, but it is difficult in its own way. Like we have 6 hours classes, like
yeah,
we
yeah.
are busy from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock somehow. So
So,
that's
in
what it
spite
is.
of all this, you devoted so much time to all of us. So that's really a big thing to do.
I'm sure all the admins are very happy about hearing all this, because we all this is what we wanted. Like we are guiding students at the end of the day, for that for them the CLAT exam goes well. They will have a feeling, they will have a very small feeling of actually being thankful to us, because I know there are number of
Yes.
people you are thankful to. Maybe your coaching institute, maybe your parents, your guidance, like you have your siblings or cousins who must have been guiding you. But a small amount of thank you to us works like wonders for us and motivates us to do better for the next batch as well. Thank you so much. It was an
Thank you.
amazing session with you, and